What is up, team? Hope you're all doing well. I hope you've got your heaven on high, 100 clears, maybe multiple clears by now. Hopefully you got that nice looking horse mount or dodo mount. When I did heaven on high floor, we failed the first time because we had if you see the videos, we had a crazy 3-man comp, 2 warriors, 1 red mage, and we were just having fun of it. But on the second try, we went fairly serious comp, and we loaded up a Google Doc guide. It's the one that the solo red mage does. Had a look at the mob types and all that stuff, and we went for it and we got it. And I gotta say, floor 80 to 100 is... floor 80 to like floor 97, because you want to have 3 magicites. So, but we'll say those last 20 floors in general, they're really entertaining. Like, it kind of reinvigorated my love for 4-man content, which is crazy because if you think about it, for 4-man content, we really don't have that much. We have expert dungeons and quote unquote hard mode dungeons, but you all know the hard mode dungeons are pull everything, spam AoE, pull up to the nearest waymark, and then, repeat, rinse and repeat. Bosses don't really threaten you that much. And to be fair, the bosses in Heaven on High, aside from boss 90, I'd say are, same as expert level, maybe a bit easier. But the floors in between the bosses, that's where the juice begins. And 80 to 100, if you're not seeing the clear videos or you want to see content of it, just check out the YouTube. Those last kind of 20 floors they're awesome. Like, it really reinvigorated my love for it because each mob has a special thing to it. This mob is going to do this to you. This mob is going to force you to line of sight it or run behind it. Okay, you got to tank this mob in between a corridor and not in an open room so the party can line of sight it. And you'd be surprised just how much tank positioning helps in kind of pulling those mobs in between corridors, not in open rooms. It's, it feels good, man. Like, as someone who's more of a casual nowadays, and to be fair, the raid tiers, they're not, they have a fair amount of difficulty to them, but in the grand scheme of things, you clear it, right, in a few days, maybe a week or 2 if you're mid-core. Ultimate, obviously, again, more insane mechanics, but from what I've seen of Ultimate, it's, it's more like crazy raid mechanic execution. And I'm not talking about that for this type of video. I'm talking about like the tanking itself, the holding the boss or the mobs in between corridors, giving your party access to line of sight, having all these crazy things like mobs onslaughting you 3 times, which you can stop with home gang or tempered will. And just in general, pulling more than 1 mob from floor 80 to 100 it's painful. You have to stay in defiance or shield oath because you pull one of those mobs and I'm popping ender beasts like chewing gum. It's insane. And it's a good change for me because, I'm still slacking on Palace of the Dead. I kind of thought Palace of the Dead was a bit meh due to like just RNG at the time. Maybe I can go back to it now and have more of a clear head, but Heaven on the High kind of struck a decent balance for me, especially with the last 20 floors. I do think we need, it's a step in the right direction for 4-man content, but we need more of fairly difficult 4-man content, I'd say. And not insanely difficult, but I'm going to say it, and yes or no, I roll. World of Warcraft. I haven't played WoW since 2005, so I'm not too familiar with the system, but I believe it's called Mythic Plus, where you do the 5-man dungeons, and they get difficult with each kind of plus level. I'm a big WoW noob, so, but I've seen tanks on streams do those dungeons, and you have to kite as a tank. You have to be really careful of what you pull. There are consequences to, overstepping as a tank, and Heaven on High kind of reminded me of that a little bit, just a little bit. And it kind of reminds me that the 4-man meta in this game needs a big push. We need a 3rd difficulty of 4-man. It doesn't have to be, something that isn't Heaven on High, something that you can just apply to normal dungeons and just procedurally generate harder content. Have mobs where if you tank 3 of the mobs, you have to kill them within a certain time limit, or they'll stack. They'll put Vun stacks on you, and then you have to kite a bit. You have to run around and kite. You know, make us actually utilize our tanking and dodging other than just stand there, vengeance, awareness, raw intuition, overpower, 5 inner beasts, 5 steel cyclones, 5 decimates. It's vanilla really, and it goes to waste. Like, you think of the amount of time these guys spent. You think of the amount of time, right? These guys spend making a dungeon, all the art, all the mobs, the boss mechanics, and it just gets like completely drove through as meh, easy, yeah, face rolled it content. Like the last few patches, I've just gone into dungeons and just face rolled everything, gotten hit by stuff, and it doesn't really, there's no punishment for it. But if we had that third difficulty, you know, 4-man extremes, where it's the dungeons, same sort of style, but the mobs are really tuned up. You have to utilize sleep, you have to utilize repos, you have to utilize stuns, other than just going in and being an overpower beast, being a flash beast, flash beast sounds weird. But you know what I mean? It's just like, give us something that is horizontal progression with some type of glamour reward or marks or something. But give us something where we can actually utilize tanking skill other than going into this, you know, this kind of 8-man content, 4-man content or whatever, and zerging through it. You know, just give us something that we have to do on the fly. And Heaven on High 80 to 100 explores that a little bit. What we need now is more of it. I want more stuff like that, but in another type of meta. And 4-man dungeons for me is the perfect meta for that. But that's just my general thoughts. Probably go for another Heaven on High 100 in a few weeks. But in general, I like it. I like it quite a lot. No qualms with it. The RNG of traps, it's cool. I wouldn't want RNG traps in dungeons. I'd want it to be 100%, you know, skill based. Have it based on eye level. Have it based on eye level just to filter, you know, so you get a good idea of what eye level you need for it, and make use of the eye level some more. Like, we raid in this game to get better gear, but we kill the tiers to get better gear. So when we get better gear, we're just killing the things we originally killed to get the gear. So what are we using the gear for other than ultimate, which is the 1%? You know, have the gear mean something. Have it, you know, give us access to more content, like higher eye level dungeons or something. Just, I don't know, man. I feel there could be a lot more done to kind of mix up the stale formula Final Fantasy XIV currently has. And I think they could take a lot of inspiration from WoW, a game that's been going for like, how long has it been going now? Like 15 years. Use that knowledge and just be inspired to do something with 4-man content, because this game goes through lots of dead phases and we need some sort of mix up. But what do you guys think about the whole making 4-man a bit more, having enough difficulty to 4-man, having more horizontal progression, having more tanking stuff to do that replicates Heaven on High, but in, you know, that sort of manner? Let me know what you think. For now, I'm out. Probably have a video this week for Tank Academy. Hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, have fun, guys.